Good afternoon, everyone. For today's lesson, I am going to discuss the basic sentence patterns. Let me share with you the objectives of this lesson. At the end of the lesson, the students are expected to first, identify the basic sentence patterns appropriately. Second, understand the importance of sentence patterns. And create sentences using different sentence patterns. Let's begin the discussion by understanding the word order in English. Word order is very important because it can impact the meaning of what we are trying to say. The standard word order in English is subject, verb, then object. Subject is a person or thing that is being discussed or described in a sentence. It can be a noun or a pronoun. Verb is one that does the action, while object receives the action. For example, I eat vegetables. So what is sentence pattern? Sentence pattern is arrangement of words in a sentence, and it means that the placement of subject, verb, and object are correct to make meaningful sentences. In this lesson, we are going to discuss one by one the basic sentence patterns such as SIV, STVDO, STVIODO, STVDOOC, and SLVSC. The first pattern is subject plus intransitive verb. Subject is a person or thing that is being discussed in the sentence, while intransitive verb is a type of verb that does not require an object. Let's further understand this pattern by examples. For example, she arrived. She subject, arrive is intransitive verb. The building collapsed. Building is the subject, collapse is the intransitive verb. He runs fast. He subject, runs is intransitive verb. Fast is an adverb modifying the verb runs. These sentences do not have an object. The next pattern is STVDO, or subject plus transitive verb plus direct object. Transitive verb is the opposite of intransitive verb. This time, it requires an object to complete the meaning of the sentence, while direct object receives the action. Let's see the examples. For example, Justin kicked the ball. Justin is the subject. Kick is the transitive verb, while the ball or ball is the direct object. He arranged the chairs. He subject. Arrange is the transitive verb, while the chairs or chairs is the direct object. I turn on the computer. I subject, turn on transitive verb. The computer is the direct object. This time, we need an object to complete the meaning of the sentence because transitive verb is not complete by itself. Next, STVIODO, or subject plus transitive verb plus indirect object plus direct object. You already know some of these terms. I will just define what is indirect object. Indirect object is a noun or pronoun receiving the direct object. Let's further understand indirect object and this pattern by examples. For example, my mother made me a dress. Mother is the subject. Made is the transitive verb. Me is the indirect object. And dress is the direct object. The teacher gave the students an assignment. Teacher is the subject. Gave, transitive verb. The students is the indirect object, while assignment is the direct object. Uncle Hernan sent me a gift. Uncle Hernan, subject. Sent, transitive verb. Me, indirect object. Gift, direct object. As I mentioned earlier, indirect object is the receiver of the direct object. In the first example, the direct object is dress, and its receiver is me. Therefore, me is the indirect object. Same in the second and third example. The direct object is assignment, and its receiver is the students. Therefore, students is the indirect object. In the third example, gift is the direct object and its receiver is me. Therefore, me is the indirect object. Indirect object can be a noun or a pronoun. Another pattern is STVDOOC, or subject plus transitive verb plus direct object plus object complement. You should know by now what is a subject as well as transitive verb and a direct object. Let's define what is object complement. Object complement describes, names, or gives information about the object. Let's see the examples. I find the book interesting. I, subject. Find, transitive verb. Book, direct object. Interesting describes the direct object book. Therefore, it is object complement. Next. The owner made Princess assistant manager of the restaurant. The owner is the subject. Made is the transitive verb. Princess is the direct object, while assistant manager of the restaurant is object complement because it gives information about the direct object princess. Last. I named the dog Buddy. I, subject. Name, transitive verb. Dog, direct object. And Buddy is object complement because it names the direct object dog. The last pattern is SLVSC, or subject plus linking verb plus subject complement. Linking verb links the subject in its complement, while subject complement describes or provides information about the subject. It can be an adjective or a noun. Let's see the examples. For example, she is intelligent. She is the subject. Is the linking verb. Intelligent describes the subject she. Therefore, it is subject complement. Next. I am a student. I, subject. Am, linking verb. Student is a subject complement because it gives information about the subject I. Last, he looks nervous. He, subject. Looks, linking verb. Remember that sensory verbs can be linking verbs. Nervous is subject complement because it describes the subject he. Let's end this discussion by answering this question. What do you think is the importance of studying the sentence patterns? You're right. It is important to know the sentence patterns, not just the basic sentence patterns that we have discussed, but also other commonly used English sentence patterns. This will help us in creating meaningful sentences to communicate effectively. Failure to follow these patterns will distract the meaning of the sentences, and we will not be understood. Let us check your understanding by answering the following activities. In the first part, you have to choose the letter of the best answer. You may begin now. Let's check your work. Number 1. It links the subject in its complement. The answer is letter C, linking verb. Number 2. A noun or pronoun receiving the direct object. The answer is letter B, indirect object. Number 3. A verb that does not require an object. The answer is B again, intransitive verb. Number 4. It describes or provides information about the subject. The answer is letter B, subject complement. For the last item, it describes, names, or gives information about the object. The answer is letter A, object complement. For the second part of your activity, you have to match column A with the correct answer on column B. Write only the letter of your answer. Let's check your work. Number 1. My father gave me my allowance. The answer is letter C. Number 2. She bought a book. The correct answer is B. Number 3. The exam was difficult. The answer is letter E. Number 4. They work hard. The correct answer is letter A. Number 5. They elected Eman as class president. It's letter D. For your assignment, create 3 sentences for each basic sentence pattern that we have discussed, then write them on one whole sheet of paper. This is the end of this lesson. I hope you learned a lot today, and thank you for listening.